Hi everyone. Today is a very special day. Today I saw 6 eagles. The moment I decided I would share this truth, the exact moment I decided to share this truth, one eagle flew above me, came in from the right, and was above me as I was laying on the ground. And it stayed, and then one eagle became 2 eagles out of nowhere. And then 2 bald eagles became 3. 3 bald eagles became 4. I never see bald eagles in my area. I've seen some hawks and some little tweeties. 4 became 5. And 5 became 6. While I was laying in the same spot where something had occurred in September, which I'm going to share. I'm not here to convince anyone of anything. I am just sharing my experience, and because wisdom and truth don't belong to me, they belong to everybody, and it's not about me. So I do understand that, and I'm as prepared as I can be for the falling away of people as I share a new perspective. And I love those people, and I cherish everybody. And I'm seeing 3 birds pass by. So I know I am protected here. But that doesn't make it any less vulnerable. So if you're listening to this, I really appreciate you taking the time to be vulnerable with me. So, on September 9th, I'll start on September 9th, but things have happened before then. Okay, actually, I should start from kind of like the beginning. So I was very uncomfortable at my job. I was managing. It wasn't my strength. I was having a hard time, even though I love people. I was crying at work. So I needed to make a change, and I was really scared. And I started this course where I learned about the light body and how to ground into the light body and balance it. And they had this group share. And while I was practicing what I was learning, different spirits sat with me, different animal spirits sat with me, an eagle spirit and a panther spirit. And then another spirit came into my mind's eye, and only it wasn't a spirit, it was a being from a different star system. It was a benevolent being, and her name is Jardana, and she is my sister. And I learned this over the course of a few months. And she's just full of love and guidance. She guided me that it was safe to leave what was making me unhappy. It was safe to fall and dissolve into love and into surrender and into my inner strength. And so I listened to her, And the more I listened to her, she didn't talk to me in words. And now I really just see like glimpses of her, and now like in these moments she's speaking to me through the wind. But she's purple and she's sparkly. And she is pure love. And sometimes when I meditate, she will sometimes channel through me. And I just really have to let go and not judge myself. And so I listened to her. She said everything's gonna work out, and everything has so far. So I shared this in the circle for the Light Learning course. She asked me to share it, and I said, with a beating heart, I was like, does anybody here have a celestial guide that tells them kind of like what to do a little bit? I have one, and she's sparkly and purple, and she's very kind, and she's joyful. And does anybody else experience this? And no one else in the group experienced it. And someone was like, maybe she's your higher self, and I was like, I believe we're all one, but she's her own being. And the more I accepted this, the more things would come up to me, like up for me, like on YouTube. And I know she's from Sirius, and that's how I got her name, is from going into deep meditation. And it was just given to me, and but it doesn't belong to me. And I just want to share this love with you guys, with anybody who is open to hear it, because it's so beautiful, and it's so special, and it's so magical, and it's so wild. Like, it's so beautiful. And my first experience, like in the past year, I've been seeing a lot of like UFOs. They glow orange. I saw like around this time last year was the first time one had been super close to the car me and my friend were driving, and it circled around the car. And it was so interesting and so playful, because my friend and I were just talking about how when we grew up we saw a lot of UFOs, and how, on my perspective, I was just like, I think they're here to love us. I think they're here because they want the best for us, and I think they're protecting us and guiding us. And I have full body chills. I have full body chills saying that, and I just know. I just know. But yeah, I've seen lots of orange glows, and sometimes I just stare at them and feel love and guidance and just be here. And so sometimes like a lot of times the wisdom that flows through me, it's not even me. And I feel grateful and I feel honored to be a vessel of truth. And like I said before, it's also vulnerable, because it just is. It just is. It just is. But I'm here for it. And Yeah. So on September 9th, I went outside and I saw two beams of light pointing me to go, like, if it's towards you, it was pointing me to go that direction. Two beams of light. Go this way, go this way. And so I did, and I went over to where I saw the eagles today, and I stood there, and this beam of light came above my head, and it was a beam of light above my head, and it was rainbow. It was rainbow, and it was peaceful, and it started going side to side. And then it started doing a figure 8 above my head. And I was just in awe. I was like, my whole reality. And I stayed as long as the light stayed, and I wanted to be with the light the whole time. I wanted to be with the light as long as the light wanted to be with me. I was like, I will be here all night. I just felt so playful. I felt so safe. I felt so at peace. And then when the light, subsided, I saw the world with different eyes. And it was like my body didn't walk me over to this tree. My soul walked me over to this tree, and I looked up at the leaves, and they looked different. They looked more beautiful, and they were like just so beautiful. And I just knew that it's like, this is what it is, and then I was shocked, because I went over to some pine trees, and I started speaking a different language. I was speaking a different language, and I was speaking to someone. I was speaking to a being, and they were speaking back to my soul. And I think it was multiple beings. It felt like a group, and I just started speaking a different language, and it was beautiful. And I was laughing, and I was feeling it, and I had confirmations of different things I had questions about, and I didn't understand, and I still don't fully understand, but I understand a little bit more. And so I just was I was like, what? I never knew these things were possible, that a rainbow light could dance with me, and then I would speak a different language, and I hope it happens to everybody. I hope it happens to everybody, because it's so special. And I don't know why it's me that it happened to, but maybe just the reason it's me that happened to is just so I can share this. I don't know why, but I'm grateful. And I want everybody to tap into their love inside and open themselves up to experiences of magic. Magic is real. Magical and beautiful things are so real, and they're here, and anything that's in your imagination is a vision or a remembrance. Everything is real that is magical. And the world wants us, tries to get us to forget that we're magical. And we are. And it's up to us to remember that and show that magic to each other, and be happy, and be the rainbow light within us that is forever. And I have a lot more to this story, and I could talk about this for like a long time. But so I started speaking this language that I don't know, but I do know, but I remember, but I understand in my soul, but not in my mind. And then it started happening many times, over and over, just throughout the day. And I think it's pretty cool. And I started coming outside every night after that to remember and to be with the rainbow light and hope for it. And I did see other lights. And I'll talk about that too. But so I have incorporated some of these words into my songs that I've shared. Specifically Liarkmek, which is just profound love, and I don't really have English words for it, and it's just profound love. Liarkmek. I put it in a song when I sang about all one and alone, because I've actually experienced a lot of loneliness in this life, you know. And when Liarkmek, when I hear Liarkmek and I say Liarkmek, and I feel it, I know that there's divine beings that mean that and wish that and want me to know, and that I want me to know too. Profound love, unconditional love. And it's a gift, and it's just, and it's a word, and it's a feeling. Kids are getting home from school, but I sat under this tree for a few hours after staring at the sky, and I was given a peace prayer, which I'll also share, and I have put it in a song as well. And then also a song of infinite joy for any time. And then also I'm trying to what was the other one that's in there? Abundance for hearts that move well prayer. And sometimes the words come through me and I don't understand what they mean, and sometimes they repeat through me for hours. And so I know that that is something I'm supposed to remember and something I'm supposed to share with everybody. And I have shared these prayers in some of these songs I've posted, and with individuals. Like I shared the peace prayer with someone who was having heart issues, and it brought them a lot of like feeling better. And but I haven't shared the eternal joy for any moment, and I have shared the abundance for hearts moving well, but I want to share these more specifically with everybody, because they belong to everybody, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful. They're I didn't come up with these things. They don't belong to me. They belong to everybody. And but this last week, I saw, not this last Sunday, not 2 days ago, but the Sunday before that, on one of my night walks, I saw one of like the glowing orange, and it had beams of light again. So I knew I was supposed to follow it, and so I did. In the middle of the night, I just was like, yes, I feel safe. I feel safe with these beings, and I know that when they ask me to do something directly, then I feel grateful to do that. So I followed it, and I followed it into like a neighborhood, and I was over by a fence, and then I was just by this fence, and I thought they were asking me to come into the clearing of the field, but while I was at this fence, the lights were there, and then they stopped being like beams of light, and they started being shapes of light that were, I think they were angels, and there was 3 of them, maybe 4 of them, and they would go in and out of the cloud, and they would change rainbow colors. And I just stood and I felt grateful, and I just felt in awe of life, and just profound forgiveness, which I've been asking for help with. And I felt really grateful, and I just knew everything is okay and everything's gonna be okay. And so, because I felt that they were asking me to come around to the clearing, I wasn't gonna climb over the fence. I went around, and I followed the glowing orange light. The rainbow light beings were not flying in and out. At this point, it was just the orange glow, and it hovered over a school nearby. And I think I'm supposed to teach there. I know I'm supposed to teach there in some capacity. And I went there, and I'm taking the steps to see what I can do to work there, or just volunteer there and be there, because I was asked to. And so I've also seen fairies, and I know they're fairies because they fly differently than moths or bugs, and they float and they flutter and they hover, and they come when I feel very at peace only. And the trees, I hug the trees and I love the trees, and I take my shoes off and I'm barefoot with the ground, and I feel so much love in the earth. And I want everybody to feel love in the earth. And feel magical, and feel like everything's okay and everything is beautiful and at peace and full of love and joy. And I want everybody to feel like they have access to what is true, which is the magic and the galactic wisdom that is pouring through different avenues. And I am here to make that you know, to be a guide with that and to share this for the greater good, you know? And so if anybody else is having these experiences, you know, like, and you're seeing UFOs maybe during the day or at night, just like follow them and see what happens and tell me what happens. I want to know. I want to know what is happening. I know I'm not the only one. Because I've heard other people speak, like they call it light language. I'm learning more about it. And sometimes it comes through me, sometimes it doesn't, but I'm always really grateful when it does. And I try to stay balanced and at peace and without ego and full of love so that I can invite that energy. And yeah, so I don't know. I do know. I don't know. I do know. I don't know. I've seen other things, and I'll share those too. But for now, this is good, and I love everybody, and I'm so excited for everything that's gonna unfold. And I'm here for you. And wherever you're at on this perspective, I love you. And, you know, I started a peace circle, and I put up like signs for everybody to come. One person came once. I told her a little bit about it, and it was actually really beautiful. And she was like, yes. She's like, I'm there with you. I feel you. She was Native, and I'm part Native, but I don't really talk about it because the history that's been recorded is unclear. But I told her some of my experiences, and she was like, this is special, and I think you're Lakota, which is for the people, for the love of the people, and that made me feel really grateful. And we talked and we laughed for hours, but I haven't heard from her since, which I respect. I think sometimes, like, I think maybe if I share this stuff, you know, people, you know, people might think I'm crazy or that I'm making up stories, but it's okay. You know, if you think that about me, I still love you, and this did happen, and it continues to happen, I think, and more is gonna happen. Yeah. So I'm just here for the magic. I'm here for the love, and I plan to share more of this language that comes through, and just continue to try and be the most loving person that I could be. And yeah, so that's part of my truth that I wanted to share, and I love you. Katanawe, Panana Ridge to the Kemiweke, Kanarak, Woman in marriage, Papa Mawe, Lekinine, Tamno Waka, Patana.